Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Healthy Practitioner Podcast. Today, we're going to listen to one of your questions, and then I'm going to answer it. So let's tune in.
Family history of dementia, best ways to prevent it, and supplements to take.
Okay, that was short and sweet. So, a family history of dementia, what supplements to take, and how to help your brain. There are a few things that you can do to protect your brain. Before I became an integrative nurse practitioner, I was in long-term care my whole life. I had a lot of time with elderly patients that had dementia, Alzheimer's, Sundowning syndrome, all of the things. And so they're near and dear to my heart. I love them dearly, but I also see the need to help their kids and their lineage so that they don't have to get to that point. Because if you know anyone with Alzheimer's or dementia, it's disheartening and sad. So you lose the person that you once had. So if dementia runs in your family, listen closely, because prevention starts long before the symptoms ever show up. These stories are simple, evidence-based, and powerful because the brain health can be protected with the right tools. So, what are 3 key areas to focus on when you're looking at dementia? 1, cleaning up inflammation and insulin resistance. The biggest driver of dementia isn't genetics, it's chronic inflammation and poor blood sugar control. You may have recalled people calling dementia or Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes, and the reason for that is due to the inflammation and blood sugar issues that oftentimes come with this poor memory. Cutting back on sugar, processed foods, and alcohol can be a major help with prevention. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet like leafy greens, berries, turmeric, wild salmon, olive oil are really helpful as well. Like thinking the Mediterranean diet. I always like people to at least do a paleo type diet to remove gluten and dairy from their body and get rid of that inflammation. But there are other ways too. Berries, olive oil, salmon, they're all very healthy and good for you. Focusing on protein, fiber, and healthy fats to stabilize your blood sugar is really helpful too. With that, I always recommend people get their labs tested. Don't guess, test. Check your hemoglobin A1C, your fasting insulin, insulin-like growth factor, and other inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, ESR, homocysteine levels. They're all really great. If you go to your Western medicine doc and they just kind of look at you strange, I would go to an integrative practitioner that will do these labs. Remember, Alzheimer's is sometimes called type 3 diabetes. The sooner you stabilize the insulin, the better your brain will age. Activate your brain daily. Your brain is a muscle and it needs to be activated. Sometimes I especially saw this with the elderly, where as you age, there's just not as much opportunities to learn or desire. But it's really important that our brains are constantly engaging in new activities. So learning a new language, playing a new instrument, or even using puzzles. Puzzles are a great way for people to connect their brain. Staying socially connected. Again, when I think about like the Mediterranean type diet in the blue zones, we hear a lot about the blue zones and people living in their hundreds and having good memory. For me, it's not as much about the diet as it is about the social connection. They all get together as a community, they eat together, they laugh together, and there are studies that show loneliness increases the dementia risk. Move your body. Daily walking and strength training increases oxygen to your brain and helps increase memory. Like I tell anybody, especially people that are wanting to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's, prioritize sleep. That's when your brain detoxes and consolidates memory. You have the plaques that can form, and you hear about amyloid plaques all over the time with dementia and Alzheimer's, but really allowing to cleanse itself every night is really important. So sleep is foundational. There are some supplements that can help for long-term brain support. I always say, talk to your provider. Honestly, it's best when it's individualized to your needs. That's why I love you getting your labs drawn to see what markers you have to optimize your health. Because just because your family member has Alzheimer's dementia doesn't mean you're going to get it. Now, if you think every morning, oh my God, I hope I don't get dementia, it's going to propel you to that future. Remember, your thoughts affect your reality. So if your energy is constantly going to that worry and stress of Alzheimer's, well, don't be surprised if you start getting forgetful. So I have to say that because you can supplement yourself as much as you want, but if your core belief inside is, I'm going to get Alzheimer's, Just like someone might fear cancer and have that on repeat, their body's listening to that. They're not listening to the I don't want it. They're just listening to the Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's, Alzheimer's. And just like the RAS effect in the brain, once your mind is looking for something, it will find it. So again, do the mind work and create new patterns that are not fear-based in your mind. It's hard to do. When you have someone that has suffered with Alzheimer's in your family, it's scary and you don't want to repeat that process. But again, do that mind work, create positive affirmations that lead you into a different trajectory. And remember, you're not the same as that person. You grew up in a different environment, you grew up with a different lifestyle, and more importantly, you're recognizing the need to change. So you're going to be changing your habits so that you don't have raging inflammation and raging insulin resistance like maybe your family member did. Back to the supplements. Omega-3 fish oil. I love our Select Balance triple strength fish oil. It's really high quality, high doses of DHA and EPA. Helps prevent inflammation and protects brain cells. Magnesium threonate is a great type of magnesium that can cross the blood-brain barrier and improve your memory. Lion's mane mushroom is really good for memory. It supports nerve growth and neuroplasticity. We have this in our Select Balance memory support. Vitamin D is always really great because it's brain health, immune health, muscle strength. So for anybody aging, vitamin D is just a really great supplement. Injections, if you have someone locally that can do that for you, but get tested, see what your levels are, and optimize yourself. Western medicine says 30 to 100 is normal, but that is a wide range. If you are into the immune system and protection, 60 to 80 is better. And if you're in the oncology space and you have a cancer that you're working with, 80 to 100 plus is where my goal is for vitamin D. Good B complex is great. It has methylated B12, folate. You're not getting the cyanocobalamin. You're not getting the folic acid. You're getting folate and methycobalamins, and that can support methylation and energy. Remember, just because dementia runs in your family, it doesn't mean that it has to be your future. Support your blood sugar, reduce your inflammation, and activate your brain, and target supplements when needed. You can give your brain a real fighting chance. Take action. You can go to thehealthypractitioner.com or thehealthspa.com to learn more. Like this video if you found it to be helpful, and subscribe for more ways to feel sharp, balanced, and empowered in every age. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.